Hello and welcome to Web Relates. Today we're looking at the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. Our first post was uploaded by Direct Caterpillar, although the original OP is OHCR4P. A year ago, I, 27 female, broke up with my lying boyfriend, 27 male. Today, I found out that everyone else was lying and he was being truthful. A year ago, I was about to move in with my first serious boyfriend, Josh, with whom I was head over heels in love, when one of my closest friends said that Josh had shown them a nude photo of me on his phone when he was drunk during a party. 5 or 6 more of my friends corroborated the story and told me that Josh also talked in extreme detail about our sex life when showing the photo. It was sickeningly detailed. This did not sound at all like Josh. When I asked him what the hell was going on, he denied everything. He eventually got very angry and started calling all of my friends liars. At one point, he showed up at my place while some of them were visiting, and things got a little physical. It was really a very strange turn of events in my life. Josh seemed so worked up, and all of my close friends were calling him a liar. Josh had taken photos of me on his phone, which I know was stupid, but heat of the moment and everything. So I trusted my friends, and I broke up with Josh. It was heart-wrenching. Josh begged me to believe him. He started tearing up, nearly punched the wall, and left angrily. I was really grossed out at the time and felt super conflicted. A few months later, I started dating one of the friends, Alex, who had told me about Josh showing everyone the photo. All of my friends were pushing me to date Alex at the time. We didn't really sync, and it didn't go past a few months, but we remained friends of sorts. So today, another friend sends me a message that says he just wanted to get something off his chest. The story about Josh wasn't true, and were really trying to get me to date Alex. So they made up that story about Josh. After talking to a few of the other people, including Alex, it's all come out that they were lying. It was this bloody orchestrated bullcrap event that totally changed my life forever. Apparently they hated Josh and thought he was bad for me and a butthole. That was my bloody decision. I'm shaking right now. I cried in the office bathroom for about 2 hours afterwards. I loved Josh so much. We were planning a life together, and I've been friends with that group since high school. What the hell? I guess I'm supposed to stop talking to my friends, right? I cannot possibly come back from this and still talk to them, right? This basically nukes my group of friends, but how could I ever look at them again? Also, I need closure with Josh. Can I call him? Should I call him? Should I unblock him on Facebook and message him? What do I do? Then a week later, updates. Even though everyone seems to think this was a terrible idea, I sent Josh an email on Friday. I copied it here. Josh, I don't know if you're still connected to anyone on Facebook, but if you are, you probably already know why I'm sending this. And I know it is totally unfair and selfish to contact you, but I cannot imagine going through the rest of my life without apologizing. So before I say a bunch of embarrassing things, more than anything, I want to say that I am sorry I did not trust you. I am sorry I let other people decide our relationship. I am sorry for what I put you through. But I figured this might be my only chance to say this, so here comes the really lame, embarrassing stuff. I spent the past day thinking about the past year. Where I would be if I had believed you, what my life would be like. Would we be engaged? Would we be married? I'm not over you. I want to try again. I'm not asking you to marry me, but if you ever find yourself thirsty, I would love to buy you a beverage of your choice. I want to talk to you again. I miss everything about our relationship. I miss you getting annoyed when I stole your French fries. I miss fighting with you over money. I miss making you breakfast. I miss watching The Office with you over and over and over. I miss you. My information is still the same. I would not blame you if you ignored and deleted this. Just know that I know. I am really sorry. So I sent it and tried to take my mind off of it. Just writing it and sending it was extremely cathartic. I spent Saturday morning sitting around watching old movies when someone rang my doorbell. Assuming it was Amazon, I ignored it and waited for the delivery driver to leave so that I could sneak out and grab the package. I was in my robe. After a minute or two, I walked over to the door and looked through the hole. It was Josh. Obviously, my heart leapt into my throat. I had been compulsively checking my phone for a response, but I was not expecting something like that. Everything in my house, including me, was pretty disheveled. I cracked the door, smiled, said hi, and told him that I had to get dressed really quick. What a terrible interaction. So I ran around my place, throwing crap into corners, pulled my hair back, found something to wear, and went back to the door. I'm here for that beverage. I only had OJ and water, which was also pretty embarrassing, but Josh stuck around anyways. He didn't ask many questions, really. I started to talk about the nude photo incident, but he said he didn't really care to talk about it. We both know all of the details now. The conversation eventually grew a bit aimless, and we were just talking like old times. It was wonderful. He asked if I was hungry. I wasn't really, but of course I said I was. We went to a nearby burger place that we used to go to all the time. He did ask whether or not I had dated Alex. He didn't seem to be upset by my answer. I asked him if he had dated anyone. He had a 6-month relationship in the interim. She sounded great, but I didn't pry. When we got back to my place, Josh asked what I was doing for the rest of the day. I don't have plans. We spent the rest of the day together. Then the night. It's totally stupid to move that fast, but I'm not going to spend much time worrying about it. I'm feeling happy. We spent part of Sunday together too. Then Tuesday and Wednesday. We discussed what we were doing. 2 single people dating each other was the consensus. Exclusive? Yes. I think the world of him, and will always regret what happened. No matter what, though, I'm extremely happy I sent the letter to him. It's interesting to think that if he had actually done what everyone accused him of, and then I took him back, I would probably have trust issues. Now, obviously, I trust him to the core. He could tell me the world was flat, and I'd have trouble questioning him. Just a weird thought I've been having. So that's the story. We're together again. Will it work out? I hope so. No matter what, things are better today than they were last week. Well, that was quite the story, and nothing was handled as well as it could have been. I hope everything works out for Oop. That was at least a happy ending, but those friends need to be put on blast. Our next story was uploaded by Cheeseball Fondue, although the original OP is Ms. Gidget. I tried to warn the bride that her bridesmaids' dresses wouldn't work for me, but she insisted, and now she's pissed because I look like the bride. I'm supposed to be the maid of honor tonight for a wedding. My husband is the best man, and we've been friends with this couple for a long time. The problem is, now I'm being kicked out for being black, and my husband wants to step down as best man because of it, and it's causing a whole thing. To clarify, it's important the bride is not racist in any way. She's just kinda dumb for refusing to listen. My skin color is the issue, but not because she has a problem with it overall, but just because she didn't realize that my skin would make a dress look different on me than on others. She has had this vision for her wedding for forever, apparently. Her bridesmaids' dresses are nearly identical to her wedding dress in style, except a different color, and on the bridesmaids' dresses the detailing stops at the waist, and they are not laced up in the back. My dress as maid of honor is an exact carbon copy of hers, just in the other color. Here's where it gets to be a mess. She picked this color the company calls morning grey for her bridesmaids' dresses. Morning grey, for anyone wondering, is like a soft pastel grey that's about a shade off of white. On the other bridesmaids, the dress absolutely looks grey. A very soft, very ethereal grey, but a grey nonetheless. All the other bridesmaids are also white. I'm not. I'm not only black, but as I've been to the beach for another wedding this year, I'm darker than I normally am. Against my skin, the dress undeniably looks white. Like the only way you can tell mine is actually grey is if I'm standing directly next to the bride and the dresses are side by side. Then you can see mine is slightly grey and hers isn't. Now the bride ordered all of the dresses and picked the colour herself. I tried to tell her she should order mine in a darker shade of grey, because I've been down this road before where I've been accused of wearing white at a wedding because of a dress I wore looked white in the sunlight even though it wasn't. She insisted that she had her cousin try it on, and the colour was perfect, and you could easily tell it was grey. I tried to explain to her that her cousin is the colour of printer paper, and that it would look different on me, but she was unwilling to have her vision modified. Now she's pissed at me because even though it's clear hanging with the other dresses, mine is the same colour as the other bridesmaids. She has decided the only option is to kick me out of the wedding so I don't upstage her. However, she wants me to give my dress to one of the other bridesmaids, which I said was fine, as soon as she reimbursed me the money for it. $350 compared to the rest of the bridesmaids, who paid about $125. But then one of the bridesmaids promptly pointed out that none of them could even wear my dress. I'm not huge, but I am incredibly top-heavy. I wear a 34H bra, which is part of why my dress was so much more expensive than the other bridesmaids. The other part being the extra detailing. So none of the other bridesmaids would be able to keep my dress up, even if the lacing was pulled as tight as it would go. So now she's decided I have ruined her perfect wedding. Screamed at me and told me that not only am I not in the wedding, but she doesn't even want me to attend as a guest. Which pissed off my husband, A, because she was warned. I even sent her photos of a dress I wore that was almost the same colour to a different wedding. And B, because he doesn't want to attend a wedding we travelled for without me, and he thinks it's bullcrap since she insisted on the dress colour. In general, commenters are pretty sure the bride's racist, an idiot, a bridezilla, or some combination of the three. For example, one comment says, "Not the butthole. You did nothing wrong, and I would fully support your husband stepping out as well. Neither of you are ruining the wedding. The bride did that all on her own." What an absolute... You never mind. Also, you say she isn't racist, but this comes across as someone who might be just a little. Like someone who screams, "I don't see colour," or who says, "I can't be racist because I have friends of colour." Well, lady, your behaviour tells us otherwise, and you, OP, deserves so much better than this. Another comment says, OP went out of her way to say her, maybe former friend, isn't racist, but this sounds pretty racist to me. She went from maid of honour to being screamed at and uninvited to the wedding and is being replaced by someone with lighter skin who doesn't compromise the bride's aesthetic. A third comment says, "Ha ha ha, describing the cousin's skin tone as printer paper is pretty damn funny. Thank you for that. Why can't she have you in a different coloured dress? Some brides do that for their maid of honours. Just dye it or something." That's an extreme overreaction on her part, especially since you warned her. You're clearly close to her since you're her maid of honour, so you'd think she'd just trust what you look like in a certain colour, but Bridezilla clearly lost her marbles. I'm thinking you dodged a bullet on this one, and hubby will too once he dips, but there has to be other solutions than straight kicking you out. If you really want to stay in it, ask her if you can find someone to dye the dress if she's amenable to you having a different shade. OP then provided an update on the same day. So, after I posted, things got ugly and the groom called everything off. I initially offered to dye the dress since I was the only person not getting my hair done. My hair has been damaged more than once by stylists who don't know how to handle the texture, so I'm very limited in who I will let do it, and instead usually do it myself. The groom thought this was a great idea, and even offered to pay for the stuff needed to dye it, and let me use his parents' place to do it. While he went to go talk to his parents, though my now ex nixed that because then I would stand out even more. So I asked what she meant by stand out even more, and a whole lot of truth came out. Apparently she initially hadn't wanted me in the wedding at all, but her ex-fiancé is one of my oldest and best friends, and my husband was, note the past tense, one of hers. That's why we introduced them to each other in the first place, because we thought they would hit it off, and they did. Anyway, because my husband was the closest thing she has to a sibling, she really wanted him to be the man of honour at their wedding, and initially ex-groom said that was fine and he would just have me as best woman, so things would look balanced, and two men didn't have to walk down the aisle or whatever. She really didn't like that, so they decided to switch us up. No big deal. Except, apparently it was because I'm the only person of colour in the whole wedding party, and one of very few who will be at the wedding at all, and I'm going to stand out in every single picture. I asked her what about the groom's parents. The groom is white, but he's adopted by a black couple and is quite close to both his biological and adoptive parents. But if you ask who his parents are, he always says the people who raised him. Her theory was that his biological parents would be in the pictures, but not his adoptive parents. Well, when the groom came back and heard this, he flipped out, and then she said the dumbest thing she could have said. Apparently, it's not his fault he had no control over who adopted him, and the pictures should just be real family. Well, at that point, the groom had heard enough and told her that they were his real family, and he couldn't believe she would say that. She was not the person he thought she was, and he was not marrying her. She gets pissed and tells him he's being ridiculous, but his parents can be in some of the photos and they will take some without. He tells her again that he is in no way, shape, manner, or form marrying her after what he heard, and in fact he wants nothing to do with her. She gets upset and says, well, she's at least going to have fun at the reception. He reminds her that he and his parents paid for everything, including the reception, and she is not welcome and he will be informing the security of that fact. The bride runs off and tells her parents what he's saying, and doing so they come out guns blazing, and all to confront him, but apparently she didn't give them all the facts, because when he laid it out for them, they were appalled. Her father literally tore her a new one, talking about how she was not raised that way, and he couldn't believe this was the person she had become. They apologized to the groom, offered to pay for half of the wedding, and they left with their daughter. So we spent the afternoon with the groom, several of the bridesmaids, and all of the groomsmen who were all equally shocked by her behavior. I'd say we were consoling the groom, but we weren't. He was too busy ranting about dodging a bullet. Last night we went to the reception, partied until like 3 a.m. and had a great time. As for the dress, I have an event later this summer, and I'm going to dye the dress and wear it for that. The comments were sympathetic. I'm sorry that you all had to find out that she was a horrible person, but thank goodness it was discovered before the wedding and before kids. The ex must be breathing a sigh of relief, but how is your husband doing? You stated that your husband is the closest thing she has to a sibling, so he must be a combination of furious and heartbroken. I'm so glad that you all had a blast at the reception, and I hope that everyone was also petty enough to share the heck out of the pictures on their socials with a caption, something like living the best life, now that the trash has been taken out. Best of luck to your friend. Oop responded 2 days after the wedding. My husband will probably be sad later because they had been friends for so long. But right now, he's just disgusted that he was friends with someone who thought like that. Like, she was in our wedding. I think furious and heartbroken is absolutely accurate. Well, that seemed to escalate quickly. There must have been some underlying tensions or problems that we didn't know about. Ultimately, I guess the bride just seemed pretty self-centered. Okay everyone, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like, comment and subscribe, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers!